Welcome back. We're inside the kitchen here at our Food City in Kingsport on Eastman Road. And we've got an old friend back with us today.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Chef JJ back here in the kitchen. I tell you, you feel right at home here, don't you?
I do. It's been a few years, but I super enjoy coming, and definitely the fellowship has been with everybody.
Yeah, and Easter, man, we're talking about, you know, when you have an Easter dinner, you got to have that great centerpiece, that great entree, and you're talking about a very special one, near and dear to my heart here.
Yeah, you know, prime rib is a super awesome thing to try, whether it be for Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, whenever you want to. It's an investment, you know, and you really want to spend the money on it. If you're going to buy a prime rib, get prime with the right marbling. But you got to cook it right. You put some money into it, you're going to have a nice dinner. You really got to put the time to have the perfect prime rib. Right. And there's some steps you can take to really make sure you maximize that.
We're going to walk everybody through this. This is a process, and it starts by going to your local Food City, going back there to that meat department. They will take care of you back there.
They will. Just tell them what you're looking for. Even if it's something odd, I can guarantee one of those guys knows what you're talking about.
All right, and it starts right here.
It does.
Because you've got to find that perfect cut.
You do. You find that perfect prime rib. Yeah. And you know, what I did is I went ahead and took that prime rib and I put a little bit of oil, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, and I painted it real good. Not a lot, just a little bit. I mixed up a little bit of a seasoning. You got to season it well.
All right.
And just to make it easy, I got this grill mace. It's a butcher blend. It's got kosher salt, black pepper, and the things you need. I took some thyme. I stripped those leaves. I pulled them backwards and stripped those leaves off. I chopped it up and I made a little bit of a rub, and I rubbed it really good. Now, you want to do this the night before, at least 12 hours ahead of time, and let it set, and preferably in a refrigeration, and let it sit open. Let it get a little bit dry, and that's going to give you the best results. You already built some flavor layers with the Worcestershire, and now you've got the seasoning. And then it's really key to pull it out about 2 hours before you actually cook it.
Okay, let it rest?
Let it rest, the muscles relax, come to the temperature. You're already going to get it really hot, you don't want to shock it. And then when you cook it in your oven, usually 325 is about right on the temperature-wise. It's about 35 minutes a pound, but I'd always check it earlier. And I'll tell you what I use. I've got one of these wireless thermometers I've had for many years.
Those are priceless when you're cooking
big
cuts
of meat.
Wireless.
It's got a big wire on it.
Well, it's got a big wire on it.
But you can stick it in your oven, and you can let that thing and set it. You really got to make sure you get the right temperature. If you like it medium rare, you want to cook it to about 115, 120. Okay. And that's the right temperature you want to cook that.
Now, when you're cooking this and you put it in the oven, you want to make sure that cap, the fat part, is on top. Right?
That's right. The fat part is going to be on the side. Good call. And you know, another thing too, when you cook it, you want to make sure you're getting the internal temperature, very center of it.
Right in the middle right there. Yes.
And it'll cook over about 10 more degrees. So whatever you think it's at, you got to add about 10 degrees to it.
Okay.
Because once you pull it out of the oven, you want to cover it a little bit of aluminum foil loosely and just let it rest a little bit. All those juices will suck back inside of it once it comes to temperature again, room temperature.
I think a lot of people pull that thing out and it looks amazing and they just want to grab that fork and knife and go to work.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Just if you'll spend just that extra time to let that rest, it will pay big dividends for you.
Yeah, and you know, and some people take it to the next level. Now this is the basics, but the next level would be you take this bad boy and you cook it at a lower temperature, say 250 degrees. And then at the very end, when you pull it out, let it rest for a few minutes, put it back in on 550 degrees for about 8 minutes. Okay. And that's going to really give it a char on top. It's kind of what we did here to give it a char. You can sear it ahead of time, but that reverse sear really develops that crust that everybody likes.
And also, too, I know a lot of folks have invested in smokers. This is a great piece of meat if you want to put it in your smoker. Low and slow. It's going to take you some time, but it's time well spent.
It is, and your rub really makes a difference. You know, sometimes people say this rub is too potent, but you got a lot of meat that's got to penetrate. That's why you need to sit in your refrigerator overnight to be able to develop and get inside those muscles.
Now, do you have any advice for when we've let it rest, we've cooked it thoroughly, we got it to the temperature we want, and now you're going to slice it? Do you have any advice for slicing these?
No, I mean, it's kind of what you see. You got the cut face. That's the side you want to slice on. Okay. So you would cut it this way as you go through. Okay. And you know, you want to get your nice slices, and you don't need huge slices. You can cut them, I say about a 1/4 inch thick would be about the biggest you want. Some people like it shaved. You can cut it a little thinner, but you gotta have a good sharp knife, a good slice. And you want it, this is a chef's knife. It's a good long knife. Yes. You know, a slicing knife will be a little thinner blade, and that'll slice through it a little bit better. And then you got the prime rib, or the brisket knives you see everybody selling
Right.
these days. Big, long, slightly serrated. Those are
Yep.
great for this as well.
All right, JJ, we're going to come back here in a little while. Amy's going to be in with you.
Okay.
We'll be talking about some other great ideas for the Easter dinner as well.
Absolutely.
All right, folks, you can find out. We're going to talk more with the folks in the meat department, but your meat department, your local food city, can take care of you when it comes to buying a big prime rib like this.